There's a pasuk, the very, very last pasuk in Sefer Mלאכי, which is the last pasuk actually in Nevi'im. The psukim go, Zichru Teiras Moshe Avdi, Asher Tzivisi Oisei B'chiri Val Kol Yisrael, Chukim U'Mishpatim. And then Hashem says, the Novi Mלאכי is giving us a nevuah. Hine Anoichi Sheleach Lochem, I'm going to send you Eis Eliyohu Hanovi. We know that as Eliyohu Hanovi. Before Mashiach comes, Eliyohu Hanovi is going to come. לפני בו יום Hashem הגודל והנורא. The day when Mashiach comes is a long anticipated day, which is a godel v'noira. It's an awesome day, it's a great day, and before that day we need Eliyohu Hanovi. If Eliyohu Hanovi doesn't come, Mashiach can't come, and the Gemara in a number of places explains that on the days that Eliyohu Hanovi can't come, we assume that the following day Mashiach can't come. What's Eliyohu Hanovi going to do? If somebody were to ask us, Eliyahu Hanovi is coming on the one day before Mashiach comes, what's his job? He's like cleaning, he's preparing the area so Mashiach will have where to go and what to do. What's his job? What's he going to be doing? It says this famous pasuk, not so commonly understood, but we'll try and explain it. V'heishiv leiv ovois al bonim, v'leiv bonim al avoisam. Eliyahu Hanovi is going to be meishiv, return the hearts of fathers on sons. We'll see in a minute what that means. And the hearts of sons on fathers. Pen ovoivi kesi es ha'oretz cherem, which means Mashiach cannot come. It's not possible for the world to move into the next stage, which is the final milchemes Gog u'Magog, which will get rid of the umay sa'ilam and the Rishoim, without having a heishiv leiv ovois al bonim v'leiv bonim al avoisam. So this seems like there's some discord, there's some trouble going on between fathers and sons, between parents and children. And Eliyahu Hanovi's main goal, Mashiach can't come unless all parents are getting along with their kids. Which is interesting, because there's so many issues. Look at the world today. Just imagine that Mashiach wanted to come tomorrow, Eliyahu Hanovi would come today, and all he would do is make peace between fathers and sons. That's quite a bold statement. What does it mean? And the truth is that there's a Mishnah, a very out of the way Mishnah, the last Mishnah in Maseches Idiyos, where the Chachamim say, they bring this pasuk, and the Chachamim say that Eliyahu Hanovi is not coming to be merachik people, he's not coming to be mekarav people, elo lasis sholem b'neim, to make peace between people. And then the Mishnah brings the pasuk, hine anoichi sheleach lechem es Eliyahu Hanovi v'heishiv leiv ovois al bonim v'leiv bonim al avoisam. So there's a concept, and the Rambam paskins like this in Hilchos Melachim. He brings down that Mashiach must come, and his job has to be losum sholem ba'olam. There should be peace in the world. And the nusach that the pasuk calls this sholem is leiv ovois al bonim and leiv bonim al ovois. What's going on here? What does it mean? So the Yalkut writes that in this pasuk, somewhere, somehow, is hinted to the fact that everybody has to do tshuva. Every single father, every son, every parent, every child, we all have to do tshuva, and that makes a lot of sense. Before Mashiach comes, we have to be doing tshuva, and once we're all tzaddikim, hayoim im bekoilei sishmo, if we're all doing tshuva, then Mashiach can come. But how do the two go together? Is Eliyahu Hanovi coming to make us do tshuva? So he might have some Skype room or Zoom conference, and he's going to get the whole of Klal Yisrael together and give a drasha, and he's going to make everyone do tshuva, and the next day Mashiach will come. Is that what's going to happen? So there's a very, very interesting Rashi on this pasuk. And Rashi goes like this: V'heishiv leiv ovois leHakadosh Baruch Hu. So till now we understood that V'heishiv leiv ovois al bonim, we're going to reconnect the hearts of the fathers to the children. V'leiv bonim al avoisam, we're going to reconnect the hearts of the children with their parents. Rashi says no. V'heishiv leiv ovois means that we have to return the fathers to Hashem. And then the next part of the pasuk, v'leiv bonim, means we have to return the hearts of the children to Hashem. What does it mean, al bonim? If the pasuk means that Eliyahu Hanovi is coming and is going to make fathers be chayzer b'tshuva, no problem. So Eliyahu Hanovi should take all the fathers, either give them a drasha, or give them petch, or give them a bribe, or whatever it is, and make them do tshuva. Where do the bonim come into it? So Rashi says, al yedei bonim. The fathers can only be chayzer b'tshuva through their sons. And the second half of the pasuk, v'leiv bonim al avoisam, children will only be able to come back and do tshuva through their parents. So this big Eliyahu Hanovi we've been talking about and hearing about for 2,000 years, he's going to come, he is not going to be able to make any fathers be chayzer b'tshuva, and he's not going to be able to make any sons be chayzer b'tshuva. What he's going to do is he's going to speak to the sons and get them to be machzir their parents b'tshuva. We see that a lot today in Eretz Yisrael with the tshuva movement. That's not what we're here for now. And Eliyahu Hanovi is not going to manage to bring the sons back. He's going to speak to the parents and tell the parents to bring the sons back. So Rashi carries on. Yoimar lebonim. Eliyahu Hanovi is going to say to the sons of the tzaddikim. We have two groups of people. We have oveis al bonim, which means fathers who are far from Hashem, who are going to come back because of their children, and we have bonim al avoisam. We have bonim that are far, children that are far, and they're going to come back through their parents. So he says, Yoimru lebonim. Eliyahu Hanovi is going to say to the children, in the event that we're talking to the children who are tzaddikim, whose parents are off the derech, and he's going to say to them, derech ahava v'rotzin. Eliyahu Hanovi is going to take these tzaddikim and he's going to speak to them with tremendous love and care and rotzin and say to them, L'chu, go v'dibru el aviseichem. Go and speak to your parents who are off the derech and bring them back b'tshuva. Le'echo is b'darkei amokim. To bring the parents, encourage the parents to come back and do tshuva. And it's fascinating because he's giving them one day to do that because the next day Mashiach is coming. But that's a different issue. V'chein leiv bonim al havoisam, says Rashi. He says that there's going to be children that never are straying, and Eliyahu Hanovi is going to come. Eliyahu Hanovi can't bring them back. It's too complicated. He's going to go to the parents, and he's going to tell the parents, go and be machzir your children b'tshuva. The big question I had was, why is Rashi telling us that Eliyahu Hanovi is turning to the tzaddikim in a way of ava v'rotzain, telling the tzaddikim, go and be mekarev either your parents or your children that have strayed. Eliyahu doesn't need to speak to them but ava v'rotzain. If Eliyahu Hanovi would tell the fathers who are tzaddikim, go b'ava v'rotzain and be mekarev your children, we can understand that. You can't be mekarev if you don't do it with love and with compassion. And he'll tell the children, go be mekarev your parents, but do it b'ava, or they won't come back. But why is Eliyahu Hanovi going to speak to the tzaddikim b'ava v'rotzain as if he has to persuade and convince them with love and compassion, go be mekarev your off the derech parents or children? It's something which is screaming out in Rashi. And the answer is extremely clear, and everybody who's listening to me, anyone sitting in this room knows the answer. When parents or siblings, and just in our context, let's keep it to children. When there are children that unfortunately have strayed, it's not just that they have strayed and drifted away from Hashem, which is a problem in its own right, a challenge in its own right. But there's automatically going to be a drift between the children and their parents. And to get parents to actually go with compassion and be mekar of their children, even though they are so off the derech, that's something that is not to be taken for granted and not so easy to do either. However many of us are listening today, there are many, many more that are not here, and they're choosing another line. They're saying, you're off the derech, that's your problem, go fly a kite, and when you want to come back and follow the rules, you can come back. But our home is the home, and we have rules, and it's Yiddishkeit, and all the other good excuses, and all the other things they say. And they don't want to, or they're not going out of their way to actually go and be mekar of their children. So Eliyahu Hanovi, before he's even telling us parents how to be mekar of our children, Eliyahu Hanovi is coming and telling us, derech ava v'rotzin. Eliyahu Hanovi has to turn to us with love and compassion, and turn to us and say, you parents, it's so difficult for you, it's almost impossible. Your children have let go, and they've kicked at everything that's important to you, all your values and everything, and all the principles that you stand for. Eliyahu Hanovi is going to have a harder job getting us to want to be makar of our children. Eliyahu Hanovi's job is not to be makar of our children. He cannot do that. Maybe because he is in the wrong generation. I don't know. Maybe we're not allowed to say explanations. But Eliyahu Hanovi's job is going to be to speak to us parents and say, you parents, you're tzaddikim. Your child is not. With Ava V'Ratzon, Eliyahu Hanovi is going to give us a drasha and say, go and be makar of your children. And then the leiv bonim alavoisam is the parents will then find the space in their hearts to go to their children, be makar of them, accept them, and get them to come back to Hashem. The nusach of Rashi is lechu, go v'dibru elav yiseichem, or in the case of bonim, go speak to your children and encourage them in a subtle way. Rashi's not telling us what to say and how to say, but he's saying go speak to your children and say something that's going to make them want to come back to Hashem. And I think that's an amazing message to all of us who are struggling today, that it makes sense that we should be having a challenge with wanting to have the children back, with being able to contain them with all the craziness. But Eliyahu Hanovi is going to have that job, and I'm not Eliyahu Hanovi by far. But it's clear that before Mashiach comes, there's some heavenly voice which is actually being heard by all of us in the whole world. There are hundreds of parents who are hearing this voice. Let's call it Eliyahu Hanovi's voice. It's actually the voice of Melachi in the Novi, saying, V'heishiv leiv bonim alavoisam. Please, parents, be compassionate. Be'ava v'rotzon, we're speaking to the parents and saying, please, do Klal Yisrael a favor and go to the children, do what the children need in order to bring them back. And that is the sholim. The sholim, it's Eliyahu Hanovi is caring much more that we should be okay with our children, much more than our children being okay with Hashem. Our children being okay with Hashem is a challenge, it's an issue. But the sholim that Eliyahu Hanovi is doing is to get us parents to accept that our children have strayed and to want to go towards them and to bring them back. And we don't need more chizuk than that. It's now the time where Chazal say, in the 3 weeks, Kol roitfeo hisigua, anyone who's looking for Hashem can find Hashem. We don't say Tachanun on Tisha B'Av, Karo Olai Moed, it's called a Yontov, because Mashiach is supposed to be coming on Tisha B'Av, or there's a good chance. So we're now in the last few days before Tisha B'Av. If Mashiach comes, Mashiach can't come on Shabbos, the Gemara says, but if he's going to come on Sunday, then sometime before Shabbos, Eliyahu Hanovi is going to come out with this calling and say, V'heishiv leiv bonim alavoisam. And I think that all of us parents who are sitting here, I think it's a tremendous chus for Klal Yisrael, and we should all have the siyata d'shmaya to be able to do just that.